So between the pandemic and the protests and the rioting and the presidential campaign, I think it's safe to say we are all just a little bit on edge. Let's talk about getting through it all with our friend, the author of the book, The Emotional Marine, 68 Mental Toughness and Emotional Intelligence Secrets to Make Anyone Instantly Like You. Eric Rittmeyer up late with us on the Final Five. Eric, it's good to see you again.
Jim, great to be back. Thank you. Last time I saw you, we were doing push-ups together, man.
Oh, my gosh, we were. How did I do, by the way? Not well.
You did really well. You did a lot better than me, man. I haven't done a push-up in the last year, so I'm on a seafood diet. I see food, I eat it, so I need to get back in the gym.
I see you got the book behind you, too. Congratulations on that.
I appreciate that, Jim. Thank you. It's been great. It's been very well received. I appreciate everybody's purchasing it, and I appreciate the exposure.
Yeah, we've had you on the show before in the past to just really talk about these tips to mental toughness. And I think, again, you know, as I was doing the intro, even here in the studio, I saw some nodding heads because it is true. Right now, these are trying times, and regardless of how you try to muddle through everything, you know, like today I'm waking up and I'm thinking about, my sister's dog was sick. I found out an aunt of mine is ill right now, and all of this. And we're all juggling a lot of things in the air right now, and this is something that you talk about.
It sure is. Yeah, we are, unfortunately, as a nation right now, Jim, we're just intoxicated in emotion. So we have all the personal stuff going on. And you throw the political piece into this. Our nation's just lost the ability of logical thought. And unfortunately, we're just this outrage culture now. Everybody automatically assumes the worst intentions of people. We have to step back from the emotion and start viewing things logically and understand the people standing next to us, they're going through a hard time too. Let's show some love and compassion.
Yeah, and as we look at some of the images, I mean, we saw it here in D.C., we've seen it in Baltimore, we've seen it across the country where, you have a point where people are exercising their First Amendment rights. It has gotten out of hand in some places. Emotions are certainly running high on so many different fronts right now. And, day in and day out, when you talk about that idea that we just don't want to agree, I think we are instantly conditioned, not you and I, but I think as a society, where if you disagree with somebody, instantly you go to the lowest common denominator. They are not worth reasoning with. They are not worth talking to. And I think that's where discourse is broken down totally.
You're absolutely right, Jim. And the issue is we're hardwired to feel first and think later. We've gotten to this point now where we're incapable of accepting an opposing point of view. The minute somebody disagrees with us, we automatically default to these defense mechanisms. We're horrible listeners. We're listening just long enough to formulate our reply. So we're not trying to understand. We're trying to formulate a reply. That's a problem. If we're not hearing somebody out, we don't have to agree with everyone, but we just have to make them feel like I'm listening to you. I hear you. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I disagree, but I hear what you're saying.
Well, and I think sometimes we get a lot of criticism in what we do in journalism. And I think right now that's understandable. I think you can see where a lot of people have some legitimate concerns about what happens in the industry. And sometimes I'm very defensive early on when somebody criticizes you, but then you take the moment because they're angry, you get defensive. But then if you take that step to reach out and say, okay, what can I do? How can we address this? How can we find some common ground? Then I find out, I have a viewer, I have a fan, I have somebody who, we still talk with. I think it is possible to find that common ground, but some of us are just so damn stubborn to find it.
You're spot on. Here's the issue, Jim. When we react, it's emotion-based. So when somebody says something that triggers us, a lot of us aren't aware of the fact we're being triggered. When we react, it's emotion-based, as opposed to responding. When we respond, we process information logically, we formulate a response, then we go back to that person from a logical state of mind. As a country, as a nation, we've lost the ability of logical thought process, so we automatically react with emotion. We're going to say things and do things we're going to regret.
All right, so let's talk about the book real quick, because I think when we have you on and we call you a mental toughness expert, you obviously speak with some background, some military background there. What was behind the idea of doing this book, and how do you find yourself fashioned as a mental toughness expert?
Yeah, it's so funny, Jim. When I wrote this book back in September, obviously I had no idea what was going to happen, what was ahead of us. But I wrote the book just as a simple guide for people to learn how to be decent humans, to learn how to connect. There's simple things in this book, but they're things that we've gotten away from. Showing people basic respect, making them feel important, making them laugh. These little simple things. So now fast forward to what we're going through right now. My book's just all about being kind humans. It's Hakuna Matata, right? It's just being kind to each other. We're so angry for no reason. Let's just get back to loving each other. We're all hardwired the same exact way. We're just different variations of the same core psychological blueprints.
Where can people find the book, Eric?
Thank you for that. Absolutely, Jim. Yeah, online. Amazon's great. My website's mentaltoughnessspeaker.com. I appreciate that.
Eric Rittmeyer, it is always good to see you. Hopefully I'll see you sooner rather than later next time.
Likewise. Awesome seeing you, Jim. Take care, buddy.
Maybe I'll do some push-ups for old time's sake after the break.
Exactly.
Final
You
five
and I
back. All right, I'm going to go do it now. Final five back after this.